Looks like we're live. Looks like we're live, people. Got this right there. So we gotta give the hand claps. All right. So everyone out there in live land, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, what we're doing right now is recording sort of one of the last modules of my course. And so I just went through the Streamlabs setup with my students, and this is the first time I've recorded and streamed at the same time. We're monitoring the CP usage. We're really up there, so that's great. we have it maxed out, so that's fantastic. So what we're going to be talking about today is there we go. Picasso once said, good artists copy, great artists steal. And I thought that was just kind of funny because this guy, he's like the worst thief on the planet. Let me show you this, right? So this is his idea of stealing. All right. Come on. That deserves, where's my hand claps? That deserves some laughter. Oops. Are we calling too many resources? Oh, this is live, people. This is what happens when you're live. Right? I should get my hand clap. There it is. Oh, that's such a difficult problem. So this guy really doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to getting what you need. So the premise is that was a little bit crazy there, but we're back on track. And so to all my streaming partners out there, we're going to be talking to small business people. All right, so just imagine you've taken the plunge. You says, okay, that's it. I'm gonna take this course, right? EngagePro Video for Business. It's about just over 5 hours, and you're gonna take the course. Maybe spend about 10 hours, 15 hours at the most digesting the material, and so now you're going to create a broadcast studio on your computer that you can switch a 4-camera shoot, but not 4 cameras, 4 scenes. And so you want to say, what am I going to put there, right? I want it to look professional, or at least you want it to look like what's out there. So we're going to take a look at what's out there. And in the spirit of Picasso, we're going to steal what we like. All right, so let's give up a round of applause there. So here we go. All right, so here's CNN, right? Good old CNN. And let's just pick something, world news. So now it's very important that you have the sound off. You do not want the sound to affect what you see. So here we got a commercial, la-di-da. What we're looking for is there we go. Okay, perfect. So we got an interview. We got a lower third. We've got a double watermark here. We got CNN and then the watermark. Somewhat unprofessional, I think. You know, I would shorten the lower third. I'm not okay. So now there's the interview. So this was camera 1. Well, this is probably camera 2. This is camera 1. All right, so that was camera 2. This is camera 1. Now watch. Okay, did you see that? These are the things that you want to be looking at. There wasn't a fade. It was a cut. It was not a swipe. It wasn't a fade. It was a cut. So let's look at that again. Okay, so they're cutting. Watch. This is the camera open shot. This is the wide angle. This is there. That was a cut. Now this is camera 2 or camera 1. At first wide shot was your establishing shot. Now they're going to go, okay, so now this is another shot that they're bringing in. So they've got the still with the lower third, and they're not going full screen. Oh, shoot. God bless it. All right. I'm sorry. I got all. Okay. Here. This is what I'm saying. This is the establishing shot. All right. Now that was a cut. You saw that cut. I'm sorry I had the wrong screen up on the broadcast here. And then they went to a graphic. And so this graphic is not full screen. It's underneath the lower third. Okay? All right, so here we go. Okay, so now they got the graphic and the guy, they've decided not to put the guy in the same sort of aspect ratio in terms of wideness. They're keeping him at 16:9, which is a somewhat lazy thing to do. But they're keeping it at 69 and keeping that graphic big. Let's look at the background to see if we see motion. Okay, so there's motion in the background. Nothing, so we've got the lower third coming up. Nothing descriptive. It's just color. All right, let's go a little bit farther. A little bit. Okay, so moving back there. So now that's camera 1 again. That's also camera 1 inside there. Okay, did you see that? That was a fade. You're making a choice to fade from this. That was a fade. Looks like a 300 millisecond fade. That was a cut. All right, so let's move on. Okay, Sean Hannity. Let's take a look at the Sean Meister. Okay, full screen. There is a dividing line here that has some sort of contour. It's not just a flat graphic. It has a little bit of contour to it. So a big honking a lower third, and there's no what do you call it? Watermark there. Okay, so let's look at this. So here is a background. Watch the background. Do you see motion? I don't see a lot of motion in the background. Just watch the background. Don't watch the foreground. We'll talk about that in a sec. It looks almost like a static file. Anyways, so what we have here, this looks like it's about 1/4 about ish. It's not a third. A third would, I don't know. Maybe it's a third. No, it's more like a fourth. Anyways, so there's that ratio, and it's demarked by a webcam overlay. This is an overlay, and I'm surprised it's not moving in the background. Let's keep an eye on the background. It's not moving. It's going. If it's moving, it's going very, very slow. So now let's watch for the cut. Is it a cut or is it a fade? Watch for the transition. Camera 2, that was a cut. So this is scene 1, and we're going. It's strange how they're not 50-50. They're making the choice. They're making the frame to be defined, looks like by his shoulders, which is an interesting choice. Look in the background. Look in the background. What do you see? Okay, we got movement here, and there's some. This could be a live picture, or this just could be a loop. It looks like it's a window. You see movement in the window, and you see the movement. They've got a stripe thing back here. Okay, so here we go. There's the other. This is like the the 4-camera shoot. People, we're watching the 4-camera shoot in action. They're not doing the setup. Is the same. What's happening in the interior here is different. What's happening on the lower third seems to be movement here. Okay, so now we're back. So we started about three different. Okay, oh, ouch. That was interesting. All right, so now this is another setup. We have this sort of golden, metallic looking thing. Look at the background. Okay, there's movement in the background now. You see the movement? It's very, very clear. It's a graphic. It's not blurry. All right, so that's an interesting move. So you get the idea. So now here's CNN again. Let's take a look. So the graphics are very basic, and there's just movement in the background. Let's continue to look. All right, they're kind of, I don't know, a little bit lazy here. Graphics on the background. There's nothing separating the two. There's no overlay separating the two. Okay. Who is this? This is CNN. All right. Here's Dr. Drew with the lovely Natalie Winters from War Room. So now he is doing that same thing. He has a demarcation of a blue overlay. All right, and there is movement in the background. It's nondescript, it's blurry, and he's got a nice lower third going on. And so he's making a choice between him and the guest. The guest is highlighted in a larger aspect ratio. Okay, let's look for it. All right, so let's see if we see a cut. What do we see? Do we see a cut or do we see a fade? Are we having fun yet? Come on. Next few seconds. So what are you doing, Drew? You cutting or you fading? Or are you gonna swipe? The suspense is killing me. What's it going to be? There we go. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Okay, this is... Oops. Sorry. In YouTube on the phone, you can go back. So there was a little fade sort of action happening there. That was interesting. So now they're bringing in this promo code, whatever it is. So he's making the choice. Look at that. Interesting. She gets smaller. They fade this in. Let's see. Do they do anything else? So they're making the choice to have. Okay, another fade. Looks like another 300 millisecond fade. All right, so you get the idea. This is War Room with Steve Bannon, Dr. Malone in the house. This is like the most basic. This guy is one of the most popular political podcasts that's happening, and it's the most basic thing. Dr. Malone is in the studio with Steve Bannon. He's got a really nice lower third, but it's really super basic. When they go to a two-camera shoot, okay, they make the choice to have a background there, but if you look, Steve, it looks as messy as his hair behind him. There's no chroma key, there's just Jesus and an American flag and some other stuff on top of a mantle there. So they're keeping that authenticity. No graphics behind Steve. There's a TV there that it's got CNN playing, I think. There's Dr. Malone in studio with Steve Bannon. Their mics don't even match. Nobody cares. It's not about, they're keeping it very real. All right, and so they have a border here, and they're making a choice to have some sort of movement in the background. There doesn't look like they're blurring it. So, all right, I think that deserves a round of applause. So, in honor of Picasso, that's what you do. And everything that you saw can be recreated in Streamlabs. It can be recreated in OBS or Streamlabs, and you can have. And did you see how they were had 3 or 4 different scenes that they were switching to? Sometimes just like 2 scenes. And so that's the power of this method. You just take a couple of scenes, and then you load your desktop with content, and then you have those scenes that go to your desktop, just like I'm going to Picasso here, and I'm going to Steve Bannon there. I'm making those choices on the fly. Okay? And I'm also making a choice to be more relaxed, like Tucker Carlson says, "Hey man, thanks so much for coming by." All right, so we are recording for the class, and I want to tell the class that, did you see I screwed up? I spent maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute, who knows, on the wrong scene because I was so involved in the moment. That happens in live stream. And then now it's recorded for all time for the class, because we're recording for the class and we're streaming at the same time. So I'm gonna come back here to StreamYard. I'm gonna show the class what we're doing. All right, class. So this is StreamYard, and I'm gonna say goodbye to my peeps out there who I'm streaming to on Facebook. I'm sorry, on Twitter, LinkedIn, and on YouTube. And then I'm going to come back to the recording and I'll say goodbye to everyone in the class. All right, so to all my broadcasting buddies out there who are watching this broadcast, thanks so much. I think we could give us a round of applause. All right, so we'll end the broadcast. End the broadcast. Yes, end the broadcast.